Hi, we're Autumn and Chloe. We are full-time nomads living in a vintage Class C RV that we renovated with our own two hands. Before that, we lived for a year and a half on the road in our car that we converted into a comfortable, teeny tiny home on wheels to explore the American West. In today's video, I take you with me as I travel abroad in the United Kingdom. Also, a big shout out to Pecron, today's video sponsor. What up, y'all? We are in some of our favorite places. Down old dirt roads, way the heck out in the forest. We're quite a ways from town, enjoying this solitude. This is our happy place. We like it here. See Chloe smile? I had a number of people tell me that my last video was confusing. Apologies. In a nutshell, 2024 has been extraordinarily stressful for me, and I was attempting to explain why I hadn't posted a video weekly, as that was my schedule for a while. Plus, you guys, I was in the middle of weighing a huge decision that I was not ready to share about yet, which was that I had a real viable possibility to move to Europe, and I was this close to taking it. I was so close to taking it that I even flew out to Europe at the beginning of May to explore it as a viable option. And I thought I was gonna go, you guys. I found a place to store Clunk and Little Red. I was in the process of coordinating Chloe, and I even closed down my counseling business temporarily because I thought I was gonna go. Anyhow, we are not moving to Europe, even though for a couple of months I really thought that was gonna be my future. In the rest of this video, I take you along with me as we took a beautiful trip to England and Wales. Last we left off, we were in a crowded airport in London. Imagine if you needed to run through that airport. There have been so many times that I had to sprint from one flight to the next. Imagine trying in this. I was somewhere between hyperventilating and laughing at how much insanity there was in this airport. I had thought with my 5-hour layover that I might be able to sleep, catch a little bit of a nap. For someone who literally drives like hundreds of miles out into the remote BLM land to get away from people, London Heathrow Airport was quite a shock. So then I'm like, all right, so since I'm not going to be able to sleep, I need coffee. Well, there's not multiple cafes everywhere you turn in this airport. And I'm going to be very curious if that is a Britain thing in general. I was thrilled to see the Starbucks sign, but it was under construction. So I finally found one after walking like 2 miles around the airport, like not even kidding. I found one and I said, please give me your largest coffee cup that you have. And they're like, we have one size. So I just came from Dallas, Fort Worth, where this is the size of a whiskey shot glass. So, for my 5-hour, non-napping layover at London Heathrow, I moseyed around the airport exploring all of the things that are different between Britain and America. The money is different. So are the charging plugs. The toilets are different. And I hid in the bathroom stall to get away from so many people. Then it was off again, flying north to Manchester. Before we land, I want to share about Pecron, today's video sponsor. My hardest adjustment from normal life to nomad life has been having adequate power. This is why I am thrilled to have partnered with Pecron. Oh my goodness. Wow. Let's see what we got going on here. 3 AC plugs. Ooh, I think this is where you plug things in to charge it. 12 volt USB. This is nice. I'm excited to try this out. I have been so happy with the performance of the E600 LFP portable power station. This power station has a 1200 watt pure sine wave inverter. It hosts 614 watt hours at 25.6 volts and 24 amp hours. This battery has over 3,500 recharging life cycles. The E600 can power 90% of appliances with its 614 watt-hour capacity, including laptops, CPAPs, TVs, and a fridge. It's hot now, so here I have the Pecron simultaneously charging 2 rechargeable fans, my cell phone, and powering my laptop all at once so I can work. The Pecron E600 LFP has fast charging. It can reach a full charge in just over 3 hours when hooked up to an AC outlet. If you work from the road like I do, adequate power is required for your livelihood. This power station ensures that all my work devices are charged with its 3 AC outlets, 12 volt and 10 amp ports, as well as 4 USB charge ports. It also has a 15 watt wireless charging pad on top. This power station is perfect for RV and car camping or living. It runs clean and quiet. You can recharge this power station via solar generator, through your vehicle's 12-volt system, and through AC power. There is an exclusive discount code in the video's description which you can apply to get 5% off your Pecron power station. Now, back to England. The English countryside is a sea of emerald green, sprinkled with bluebells, wild garlic, and the red brick architecture that I've always seen in movies. I spent several days walking around tiny English villages. I had to see the classic red phone booths. However, I was mostly drawn to the way that things overseas were similar yet different enough from the States to pique my curiosity. For example, yield signs in America are called giveaway signs here. Houseboats in America are called narrowboats, and some people nomad around the canals of England in these. Grocery stores are similar but different. They have different corporate names, and you guys, the UK does not carry half and half for coffee. Nor is stevia a thing in cafes as it is in the States. My coffee didn't quite hit the spot here in Britain, but it was a small sacrifice to explore such a beautiful country. By the way, the stir sticks are tiny. Maybe that's because large coffees don't exist here. Then I was off to Wales. A favorite thing about my time here was the connection to the landscapes. I've never been one to feel the fae, yet in these vibrant fairylands I could feel nothing else. That was until I walked on the ancient roadways and could nearly hear the ghosts of Druid drumming and chanting. Standing stones scattered the Welsh countryside. These prehistoric stones date back to the Bronze Age, where they marked territories and were used for memorials and ceremonies. For those who are sensitive, the energy near these stones, it's palpable. Ancient times meets modern day with British soda sold in the castle's cafe. And here was a classic Welsh dish. It was delicious. The town of Harlech is a charming blend of old and new. You could grab a Harlech beer in a local grocery store, a colorful hat at the corner shop, yet you can also feel echoes of battles centuries past. These streets have a story. The spirit of this place is undeniable. If I closed my eyes long enough, I could see the ancient memories. I'm curious, have you been to a place like this, where history is so alive you sense it completely? As far as I know, Harlech is not considered a ghost town, but the presence of the past is well alive here. This coastline was the gateway to Cardigan Bay, which is part of the Irish Sea. It appears so calm, yet its power is subtle. I walked out to this sandbar in ankle-deep water. Only 5 minutes later, the tide came in so quickly I soaked my jeans as the water had risen waist-high. Harlech Celtic is home to the steepest street in the world, so naturally, I had to hike up it. Can barely breathe. Check out that sign. 40% decline and unsuitable for motors. I was so fascinated with how different the bathrooms were. The toilets were different. The doors were different. I wish America would adopt this. The doors go almost all the way to the floor. In some places, not all, but some places the toilet paper dispenser was different. I liked this. This seemed to save on toilet paper. Apparently, Wales is romantic. Check out how tiny that little sink is. This sink is smaller than an RV sink. I put my hand there so you could see it to scale. They had perfume and cologne next to the toilet. Who needs light switches when you can use a rope instead? Yet, in nearby restrooms, technology does all the work for you. Just put your hands in one place to soap, wash, and dry. A few stores down, back to ancient times. Who needs a lock when you've got a rope? I was told that British food was bland and in need of spice. I must correct the record. The food I had was absolutely delicious, even though the coffees only came in one size. Part of my ancestral line is from Wales, so it was quite a wonderful thing to be here. I didn't necessarily recognize myself so much here until this moment, because driving a tractor into the ocean is something my family would do. That's how they launch boats in the ocean in Wales, with a tractor. I've never seen anything like it. I love tractors. I lived next to a few in an industrial yard for 4 months. These sheds on the beach are Britain's symbol of status. They sell for about $200,000 US, but you can't sleep in them or rent them out. They are for day use only to barbecue and hang out by the beach. This yellow thing, in America, we call it a buoy. In Britain, they call it a buoy, but it is spelt the same way. In America, we dial 911 in an emergency. In Britain, they dial 999. In America, you drive down a town street and you see a building. In Britain, a castle is pretty much always right around the corner. In America, we've got Little Red. Great Britain has a Little Red also. This house here is the smallest house in Great Britain. I absolutely loved the dialect of the UK. That was so much fun. So, a couple of things. They call an elevator a lift. They call the restroom a toilet. They call saran wrap cling fill. They call a hair tie a bobble. They call chips crisps and French fries chips. They call trash rubbish and a trash can a bin. Apparently they don't have the word dumpster. At least that's what I was told. They don't have half and half. They have single cream, which is not half and half, or whole milk, which is also not half and half. If you're gonna sell something, you're gonna flog it. A chit chat is a chin wag. Cough drops are called cough sweets. And two things that I totally would not have even put together is when something is like night and day, they say it's like chalk and cheese. And if you're hungry, they'll say, I'm peckish. Peckish means hungry. With latitudes this far north, low tide leaves boats on the ocean floor. Just hanging out on the wall of a castle with the walled town of Conway right behind me. While wandering through the historic landscapes of Wales, I found myself divided. On one hand, I was mesmerized by the beauty. The castles amidst rugged black hills covered in a light mossy green, historic relics scattered the parks and the roadways. Everywhere I turned, there was modern-day connections to the ancient past. On the other hand, there was melancholy within, my internal landscape fatigued by circumstance. It was strange to be moved to dance among the history, yet to feel so tired. In the midst of this beautiful land, I struggled to find myself in the present moment. Instead, I felt unsettled, divided with decisions. One part of my spirit longs for new adventure. This part of my soul is eternally young, is as vibrant as the lands are green. This part of me, she doesn't want limits. She wants it all. Anywhere that I can find a carnival, I'm happy. And then there is modern day me. I'm not so young anymore, and I feel it. My internal compass is shifting. I'm wiser, but more fatigued. I took this trip while deep in a burnout, hoping it would refresh me. I wanted to have the energy I had in youth. I wanted to be revitalized in the same ways that I was revitalized in youth, through new experience. Unfortunately, I was not refreshed from this trip. I was left more depleted than before I embarked. So I walked along the Welsh countryside quietly, with melancholy, exhausted and mesmerized all at once.
Hi. You're so cute. Hi. Oh, what a sweetie.
I laughed watching this mobile home make its way through tiny streets. And these tiny sidewalks were so narrow and so cute. In Britain, they don't refrigerate their eggs, and their RVs are tiny compared to the States. I loved their tiny rigs that were the norm here. This trailer was the same length as the car. In Britain, it's as though they know everything is smaller here, titling their laundromats laundrettes. But there are few exceptions to their teeny tiny everything in Britain. Here, I saw the longest aluminum foil I have ever seen. Kitchen foil or sword. Also, their cattle guards, which they call cattle grids, are 3 to 4 times larger than those in the States. And the words in Wales are the largest words I've ever seen. These are some town names. Back to my burnout. I was praying for clarity about my potential move to Europe. One part of me so deeply wanted to go. Ultimately, it was fatigue that guided me. I felt the palpable weight of exhaustion every time I thought of being so far from the people I love. I felt the blaze of burnout when I thought of starting over, especially since I love my RV living, car camping, nomadic life in the Western United States. Starting over didn't used to take so much energy. I used to love it. I craved it. I was enlivened by it. Now, that's changing. Even just a few years ago when I embarked on the nomadic journey, I was motivated by adventure. Now, as I've reached my current age, I nomad around slowly, motivated by peace. And that's the gift of this nomadic life. It provides options, adventure, exploration, solace, and peace. Then it was back home to America. I just got back. That flight took 2 days. Smeared makeup from sleeping on the plane. But that flight took 2 days because my flight got canceled in Dallas, and I actually had 2 flights canceled in Dallas and ended up having to stay the night. Fortunately, they put me up in a hotel, so that was nice. Anyway, I miss it, I had a great time. I'm going to pick up Chloe.
Hi, I missed you. I missed you. Hi, honey. Hi.
My next adventure is the wild west of rest, of an extra hour of sleep each night, of sabbatical, of an anti-inflammatory diet. My next adventure is recovering from burnout, all while nomading around the forests I call home. I am so looking forward to it. So even though we aren't moving there, wasn't that glorious? I loved it. I had such a wonderful time there. We are now officially on our sabbatical. Thank you for being here. So grateful. This channel is my happy place. Take care. Thanks for watching. To follow our adventures, including slow living nomadic burnout recovery, like, comment, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe.